When you finish watching this video, you will have a formula that enables you to create what I call the magic phrase. This phrase will grant you extraordinary power, giving you the ability to talk to any woman, anytime, and anywhere. Usually, when you start a conversation with a woman, the first stage is the introduction. You want to know who she is, and you want to introduce yourself. This phase is often the hardest, and is the stage where men frequently lose their attractiveness before they even truly begin. Although what I'm explaining might seem like just how to break the ice, what I will explain today can be used anytime, anywhere, and with any woman you want. Imagine yourself in a situation where you find yourself with a woman you don't know. Or maybe you see a woman you like and want to start a conversation with her. Or let's say you're with a woman who works or studies with you, and you want to start talking to her. In the beginning, you must start with something called the introduction, the stage where you break the ice. In this stage, most men fall into the trap of not appearing interested. Let me explain the mistake they make, and then I will give you the solution. The mistake is that most men immediately start bombarding her with questions. These are usually boring, get-to-know-you questions. Asking too many questions not only bores her, but also prevents her from actively engaging in the conversation. What usually happens is that men jump from one question to another, and even worse, they give the woman the power in the conversation. What do I mean by power in the conversation? Imagine a man and a woman talking. Man: Hi, what's your name? Woman: Jessica. Man: What is your job? Woman: XYZ. Man: Oh, great job. Which city are you from? And so on. A conversation like this is boring for the woman and even boring for the man. If we look behind the scenes, what is happening in their minds? The man is thinking, I need to say something to make her laugh. This conversation is boring. What should I say to impress her? On the other hand, the woman is thinking, yet another boring guy is talking to me. What a dull conversation. I wish he would leave. When the conversation is like this, the woman is the one who has the power. The man is trying to make the conversation enjoyable and engaging for the woman, while she is either waiting for him to leave or for him to make the conversation interesting. If you find yourself in such a situation, rest assured that the woman will get bored with you. What you need to do at this stage is to make the woman want to talk to you, want to listen to what you say, and even participate in the conversation. In other words, the conversation must be enjoyable. And this is incredibly easy. With just one sentence, you can make any woman in this world interested in talking to you and wanting to listen to you. Now I want you to listen to me carefully, because I will give you a golden rule that I want you to remember for the rest of your life. Use statements instead of questions. If you've been following this series on how to attract women, you've likely heard me talk about the concept of statements. But now I will delve deeper into it because it's incredibly important and something you will need in your dating life. So what do I mean by statements? Imagine this. You're here and there's a woman you're attracted to and you want to talk to her. When you start the conversation, you need to make her want to talk to you. You need to be the one who holds the power in the conversation. This is very easy to do. All you need to do is say one sentence. This sentence will make her want to talk to you. This sentence, and don't worry, I'll explain it to you, will go directly into her mind, influence it, and make her want to talk to you. You'll feel that the power is now in your hands, and you'll notice that the conversation becomes much more engaging. When you finish watching this video, I want you to try what I'm about to tell you, and you'll see the significant difference it makes. This sentence is a statement, as I've mentioned before, and that's why I told you to use statements instead of questions. Before I explain how to easily create this sentence, it's essential to explain what I mean when I say use statements instead of questions. In short, avoid entering interview mode to keep the conversation alive. By reframing your questions as statements, you can add something to the conversation instead of merely requesting information from her. It also encourages people to open up and share more about themselves rather than feeling interrogated or pressured. Think about how conversations usually go when you meet someone new. Often, the entire conversation consists of questions and answers. Now, Think about how a conversation looks when you're with friends or family. Usually, there aren't many questions. You just talk to each other. The conversation mostly consists of statements, stories, jokes, and so on. When you speak in statements, you can create the same feelings of familiarity and comfort with someone you've just met. That's the power of using statements instead of questions. Now it's time to explain how you can use these statements, how to create the magic phrase. The rule is simple. Anytime you think of asking a question, turn it into a statement. The best way to explain how to do this is to start with an example. For instance, instead of asking, "Where are you from?" say, "You don't seem like you're from around here. Are you European?" Now, I want you to listen to me carefully and focus on this sentence. The first thing I want you to notice is the subject of the sentence. What is it about? The answer, of course, is the woman. The subject of the sentence is the woman. This is obvious, and if you've been following me for a while, you already know that the favorite subject for every person on this planet is themselves. We, as humans, love to talk about ourselves, especially women. Women are obsessed with themselves. So when you say this sentence, you're hitting a sensitive chord. If the girl's interest in the conversation was at 0 out of 10, when you say this sentence, you're opening a topic about her, meaning you're talking about her favorite subject. As a result, her interest in the conversation rises to 5 out of 10. If you simply ask, "Where are you from?" all you're doing is requesting a piece of information. But when you say a statement like this, you're opening a topic that matters to her. Imagine you were sitting and someone started talking about a topic you love, like sports, for example. You'd automatically become interested and want to engage in the conversation. The same applies to the girl. You've opened a topic she cares about, and as a result, her interest in the conversation increases. Let's return to our example to explain another point. When you say this sentence, there are two possibilities. Either the girl is European or she isn't. Let's see what happens in her mind in both cases. If your assumption is correct, this response will go straight into her mind. And since you're now talking about a topic she likes, as I explained earlier, she's already opened the door to you and become interested. This means anything you say will easily resonate with her. If your assumption is correct, she'll become curious about how you knew and she'll become more interested. If your assumption is wrong, the same thing happens. She'll be curious about why you assumed she was European and will become interested. In both cases, the girl starts thinking and wondering about your assumption. When the girl begins to think and analyze the situation, her interest rises from 5/10 to August 10th. In summary, the second component of our magic sentence is cold reads. Try to master it. Let me give you more examples to help you understand. Instead of asking, "What do you do?" say, "You seem like a creative person. I bet you work in design." Instead of "Where did you grow up?" say, "You don't seem like you grew up around here." Women love hearing opinions about themselves. They'll be very interested in finding out what made you guess what you guessed. Tell her what you observe about her. Women love that. In any situation, using statements always leads to a more engaging, interesting, and fun conversation. It's very effective. So start speaking in statements, sharing your observations and cold reads, and avoid asking questions. To make this point clearer, imagine if you only asked, "Where are you from?" She says, "Jersey," and that's it. You might respond with "cool" or something similar, and you've just had the most boring conversation ever. As a result, you'll start scrambling for another question to keep the conversation going, leading to a never-ending cycle. To talk to women in a way that doesn't bore them, but instead engages interests and intrigues them while creating feelings of comfort and familiarity. Speak in statements. Make observations, express your opinions about things, and avoid interview-style questions by turning them into statements. When you do this, the girl will want to talk to you and ask why you said what you said. And here, my dear brother, the conversation transforms from you trying to impress her and asking questions to her wanting to ask you and learn why you said what you said or made that assumption. Congratulations, the conversation just became interesting. In short, the magic phrase is created by turning a question into a statement. The statement must be about her and include an assumption about her. Please make sure the assumption you make is reasonable and accurate. Don't just say anything random that comes to mind. The problem you might face here is that if you only do what I've told you so far, it's true that the girl will become interested in you. However, there's a crucial element that must be present in the conversation for it to be considered successful. There's something you need to do to elevate the girl's interest from 8 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. This element is something I've talked about extensively in this series, and I'll elaborate on it further in this video. I'll focus more on it and show you how to maintain the flow of the conversation and how to keep her interest throughout the entire conversation. This element is emotions. Connecting with women and building comfort has nothing to do with what you're talking about. Most men think that to make women feel comfortable, they have to talk more, discuss various topics, or find things in common. Emotional connection is not built on words. It is built on feelings, the feelings behind what you're talking about. Instead of simply skimming the surface by asking basic questions like which university she attended or why she moved to a certain place, go deeper and explore her feelings and emotions. Ask her how she felt about her university experience or whether that experience influenced who she is and the direction of her life. For instance, instead of just asking a girl about her siblings, ask her about her relationship with them and how she feels those relationships have shaped her personality. Or, if she's a doctor or surgeon, don't simply say, "Oh, you're a doctor?" That must mean long working hours. Instead, dive into the emotions and feelings. After all, women are emotional beings, far more so than men. Women are naturally feminine. So understand this and use it to your advantage by exploring their emotions and feelings to build an emotional connection with them. In the example of the doctor, ask her what motivates her to sacrifice so much for others or how it feels to save someone's life. Ask women about the greatest achievement they've accomplished or the biggest mistake they've made in their lives. What would they do if they had only 1 week to live? To help build an emotional connection with women and encourage them to open up, share something deep and personal about yourself first. Instead of merely asking questions about their dreams and aspirations, take the lead, show leadership, and share your dreams and aspirations first, and she will follow. Talk about feelings, not facts. Look for the emotions underneath the facts, and connect those feelings with your own. Get her to open up by opening up yourself. This demonstrates leadership and creates genuine attraction. A great way to make a conversation enjoyable is to draw emotions out of the woman you're talking to. Women love to feel emotions. This is why topics like childhood memories, travel, and music are great for casual conversations. Such topics tend to put women in an emotional state, and when both of you are in a highly charged emotional state, connecting becomes much easier. When you do all of this, when you say the magic phrase and add emotions to the conversation, congratulations, my dear friend. That girl is now yours. But wait, there's something important I haven't talked about yet, which is how this will make the girl feel sexual attraction and consider being in a romantic relationship with you. That's a topic I'll leave for another video. And this was the Ember Stoic. See you in the next video.